morning, listeners. This is Nilima KS, and today we are bringing to you an interview session with Miss Sally Bartlett. Morning Listeners, an online magazine dedicated to women. It showcases various articles, personal life stories, and interview sessions on different matters concerning women. And today, our interviewee, Miss Sally, is a menopause health coach and the author of Amazon bestseller, Damn It, It's Menopause. So let us welcome our interviewee. Hello, Sally.
Hello, thank you. I'm happy to be here.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, trying to keep an attitude of gratitude despite everything that's going on in our world right now.
I like your spirit. So, since you're on board with morning listeners, share a glimpse of your ideal morning routine with us.
Well, when I wake up in the morning, I generally think of what I call my self-care pies and what those are going to be for the day. And pies is an acronym for physically, intellectually, emotionally, and spiritually. So I kind of just take a minute to reflect. What do I want to do in each of those areas? What are 4 small things I can do in each of those areas to live my best life today?
That's great. So where are you actually from?
I am from Southern California. I was born in Anaheim, California, which is where Disneyland is. And I live a little north of there now and have mostly lived in California for my entire life.
Interesting. So what did you have on your breakfast platter today?
Well, my breakfast platter contained this amazing chocolatey blueberry protein and vegetable smoothie. It was fabulous.
It's mouth-watering. So how are you coping up with the third wave of pandemic?
I am, like I mentioned a minute ago, trying to stay in that gratitude. And sometimes that gratitude is not like typical what you'd think of. When I say gratitude, I try to think of everything as a growth opportunity. For example, I have like a shower leak in my bathroom right now, and it's causing my whole house to be turned upside down, and my dryer isn't working. So I try to think, I'm so grateful that those things are happening. And then I go to, I'm grateful I have a dryer. I'm grateful I have a shower. And that kind of really turns things around. And you kind of need that kind of resilience and ability to turn things around in this life, but in any life. It's an important component at my age that I've come to embrace.
That's true. So what are your thoughts on the usage of sustainable sanitary products that are coming recently?
Well, as you may realize, I'm way beyond the years of menstruation. However, I think that the menstrual cup and anything that can be eco-friendly is an amazing thing to look into and utilize. I do have clients that use it and love it. So I think it's just great to have an open mind about anything that can help our planet stay as healthy as possible for as long as possible.
That's great. So now let us move on to some questions about menopause. So what exactly is the varsity of Menopause, the platform you have created, and what are the services you render by the same platform?
Well, varsity menopause is something that kind of came about. The term varsity is something in the US that if you're not from the US, you might not know varsity, but varsity is something associated with sports in high school and sometimes in college. And it means like the best. And several years ago, a good friend of mine, we're just talking about, whatever, like I had cleaned out that dirty vegetable drawer in my refrigerator that had been accumulating dirt for, things, just something really human, basic thing. And I wanted some recognition. And she just said, that's varsity. And we laughed. And then ever since then, we've always just used that universal term to mean you've got this. I'm proud of you, supporting one another. And it's kind of understood all over the place. Like if I'm in the grocery store line talking to another person and they'll say, well, I did this today. And I'll just say, that's varsity. And I think the world just needs more of that uplifting, supportive type of a message that we can all get behind. So varsity menopause is just using that whole concept in conjunction with the whole menopause transition experience. So women can stick together and help each other and thrive.
That's great. What exactly is the healthy body mindset recipe for menopausal women?
Well, the Healthy Body Mindset recipe is an online course that I've created that sort of is a continuation of my book, Damn It, It Is Menopause, where I want women just to have that varsity menopause experience together and to maybe learn the basic ingredients for body confidence in the second chapter of their lives. Through the course, they'll develop a more current self-image and with respect to aging. And I've found with my work in coaching that a lot of women have body confidence issues, and they have for maybe decades, maybe way before the menopause transition began. So in the menopause transition, usually things that already exist become magnified. So for example, if you had body confidence issues when you were younger, since your 20s or teen years, like many women, they're only compounded in those transitional menopause years. So I created this course so that women could get together, do a little work on themselves and really look down deep, like what is happening and where do I want to go with the rest of my life? And do I want to make the rest of my life just be about, I need to lose 10 pounds or my body's not right, so they can move beyond that, maybe finally move beyond that and really enjoy the rest of their big, amazing life.
That's truly a great initiative from your end. Now, since you're also an author, share with us the synopsis of your book, Damn It, It's Menopause.
Okay, well, as I've talked a little bit, when I began the transition into menopause, which is also known as perimenopause, it's that time leading up to the complete loss of your menstrual cycle. And once that cycle has been absent for 1 year, you are considered menopausal. And then that 1 day, and then from then on, you are postmenopausal. So there's perimenopause, menopause, postmenopause, collectively known as the menopausal transition. So that began for me in my early 40s. And I thought, well, I'm healthy. I'm a health coach, blah, blah, blah. That's not going to happen to me. I didn't really know that much about it, but let me tell you, I was humbled. It was very hard, very challenging. I lost my confidence. I felt isolated, depressed. I grieved. I had just a lot of sadness, not to mention like physiological symptoms, the hot flashes, the vaginal dryness, the insomnia, and just a lot of self-doubt. So in a nutshell, in that period where I wasn't sure yet what was going on with me, having been a very healthy woman my entire life, I thought I was really in the stages of early Alzheimer's. I truly did, and I was quite distraught. So I did a lot of research and learned that it was in fact perimenopause and got professional help from my healthcare provider. And once I determined what this was, I said, because I asked all my friends and nobody really wanted to talk about this. So when I found out what it was, I went back to all my friends. I said, hey, this is what this is. And they still crickets. Nobody wanted to talk about it. And I said, this is not right. I need to talk about this. Women need to talk about this. And I guess I am the one that's going to be one of those people that talks about it. So I sat down and started writing the book, which became 2 books. So that's how it all started for me. Was the book is meditations for women to achieve clarity and confidence beyond their wildest dreams during this transition. So realizing you're not alone, you're going to get through this. And it's just short, meant to be inspirational excerpts. And sometimes they're funny, to read one a day for 365 days to help you realize basically that, and hopefully be comforted by the knowledge that you're not alone.
Your mission statement sounds so encouraging and motivating, and I'm sure your readers are going to love the writing too.
I hope so.
So, what are the 8 tips on how to avoid menopausal overwhelming?
Well, like I was saying, you're not alone. It's really important to remember that. And see if I can remember all 8 of them. That's a pretty big for someone with my kind of brain fog. So you're not alone. Read my book, because that's going to help you to realize that and to put words behind the things going on in your head that could be scary for you. If you've never done so, it's a great time to learn to get in touch with your feelings and your body and learn how to activate that rest and digest or parasympathetic nervous system, for example. So, because as we transition, our hormones begin to fluctuate, especially estrogen and progesterone. And what happens is when those fluctuate, it can create the hot flashes, and the hot flashes can create an increase in cortisol, which is the stress hormone. So that's why it's good to get in touch with your body, get in touch with any kind of mind-body practices that you know, like intentional breathing or Pilates or just any kinds of meditation, things like that. So those are all good things to learn in your mindfulness practice. What else? Do your research. You're going to get through this. Your story and your solution are not going to look like anyone else's, your mother's, your aunt's, your sister, your friend. It's going to be yours and yours alone. You're a unique person, and your solution will probably not be a one-stop shopping. So I would say talk to your healthcare provider and work together. If they kind of blow you off, don't give up, get another opinion, because there are a lot of opinions out there and a lot of solutions. And my solution has been a combination of things. And everyone that I've worked with and friends, and it's always been a unique situation that works differently for different people. So don't give up and start this conversation. It might be uncomfortable, but start it. And exercise, of course, things like weight bearing and strength training to keep your bones strong, and then cardiovascular exercise to keep your heart strong. So you want both of those things. You may want to reduce your intake of caffeine and alcohol. Those can contribute to your hot flashes in a major way. And eat a diet that's rich in fruits and vegetables, especially those dark leafy greens like I put in my smoothie this morning. And you also want to check with your healthcare provider about things like your calcium and your vitamin D intake, because it's, as I said, it's just kind of a whole picture that you're going to need to look at, and it won't be just any one solution. I think that's about 8 things.
I think there was more than 8 things, but that was informative, very informative, in fact.
Good.
So, how does the power of writing help one to heal the inner wounds that menopause causes?
Well, writing is a really powerful tool that I've embraced for years in my life. Just to kind of back up a little bit, I experienced in my family of origin, in my childhood, there was some dysfunctional ways of coping with life. And so you might say there was emotional regulation dysfunction. We didn't know how to feel our feelings. It wasn't okay to feel our feelings. And so in later years, I learned writing, the tool of writing, as a tool to help with that. And because writing, we put our thoughts and feelings on paper, and this helps us emotionally regulate and better understand our actions and reactions in a more powerful way that actually enables change. Whereas if I just went around in my head and thought, I'm depressed, I'm sad, I didn't do a good job on this, over and over and over, and I never got anywhere, and then I might as well just go eat a bunch of chocolate bars, that doesn't serve me. So certainly I'm not going to beat myself up when I have spontaneous food choices like that. However, I want to eventually get to the solution. So I like to say that I use evidence-based journaling techniques to help midlife women make friends with their body, improve their immune and mental health, and break free from negative self-talk in a really powerful way. So that's kind of how in the course, well, in the book, I outline that over and over. I give examples of myself doing that, like real life examples. And then in the course, I have worksheets and women can actually do that inner work and do that writing with specific journal prompts right there, on their computer in their own home. So I try to find as many outlets to help as many women as possible because I feel so strongly about the power of writing.
That's great. So how long have you been working as a menopause health coach?
I worked in the field of fitness for many years, for over 25 years. And about 15 years ago, I added the credential of health coaching because so many of my clients even in the fitness area didn't like their bodies and my clients were primarily over 50. So they were menopausal or they were in that general time window. And so they didn't, it's not just about exercise. Exercise, as we all know, is really important. And it's not the only thing. And when someone's exercising, sometimes people exercise too much. And so that's a thing as well that even I have battled with in the past, but I have more balance today. And so about 15 years ago, I decided, we have to look at the whole picture. We have to look at the exercise and the food. And if there's binge eating and disordered eating and body dysmorphia, we need to look at why that is happening. And that's how the whole circle kept unfolding for me.
Right. Lastly, what do you think this world needs the most?
I think this world needs a willingness to meet people where they are, no matter what that looks like. Just all different people, all different opinions, all different everything, just to embrace that and meet people where they are without judgment.
That's great. Could you also provide some tips to empower women who are struggling with menopause?
I think talk to someone about it. I think, and I wanted to throw this statistic in because I think this is a good time, but according to an article in Forbes magazine, there was some research done, and 59% of women and people who menstruate between the ages of 45 and 55 who are experiencing menopause symptoms have said that it has negatively impacted their work in some way. So I've had clients and women tell me, I quit my job because the brain fog was so overwhelming. So I want women to know that I'm envisioning a time when you can talk about this to your manager, your supervisor at work, even to, how similar to how they have maternity leave for women who have given birth, or for people who have, added a child to their family. There could be, menopause leave for insomnia issues or things like that. I'm just really thinking big and envisioning that for women. So just don't be afraid. Don't think your life is over. Be afraid if you are afraid, but take action. Take action. And there's nothing wrong with you. Menopause is a normal part of your life, and it doesn't mean your life is over. So don't give up, talk about it, get help. And if you get brushed off by a medical professional, talk to another one. Keep talking.
Right. So what are the common mental problems that menopause women go through?
Well, some of those I mentioned because I went through them too, but you said mental problems, right? Mental health. Yes. Just that self-doubt is huge. I think thinking I'm obsolete. When the physical things happen, like there may be joint pain, joint inflammation, just a lot of women have issues with their hips or just joint stiffness, insomnia. When that sort of all couples together, when you start losing your sleep, everything is kind of confusing and you could really, so just to remember that, so that's one of the things, that your mental capacity is just compromised a little bit. You may forget what you were saying. You may start leaving your purse at home when you drive off, misplacing things, those kinds of things. And then you just start to doubt yourself, like, what is going on here? Why are these things happening to me? So those are some of the things that happen. And like I said, you may have dealt with depression or mental health issues previously in your life, and then you'll think, oh, I'm finished with that. That's not a problem anymore. Well, then they can resurface during this time. So the sleep is a great place to start, though. Look at if you're getting, say 7 hours of sleep a night, because if you're not, that's something that definitely needs to be addressed.
Right. Sleep is really important when your body is going through a lot inside and outside. You find it hard to convey things to others about what you're going through. At the same time, within your body, the hormones are all jumbled up and they're also working to function from their end. So it's all a complicated process. And at that moment, you need to give your body some rest, and sleep is a powerful medicine, I feel.
Yes.
So on that note, we've come to the end of this excellent interview session. So I had a great time talking with you, ma'am. We hope the audience enjoyed the session and it was informative for you all. So on this note, I would like to appreciate your time and patiently answering all our queries. It really means a lot to us.
Thank you. I enjoyed it as well.
Thank you and have a great day ahead.